People said Mama Nwaka looked too young to have a grown-up son. Not young in a charming way, not the kind of young that comes from diet, exercise, or beauty creams. Hers was the kind of youth that didn't make sense. Her skin was smooth, like untouched silk. No wrinkle dared appear. Her eyes were too sharp, too awake. At 60, her body still moved like it remembered its 20s. And her laughter, that loud, echoing laughter, it sent chills down spines instead of joy. Everyone noticed, but no one dared ask why. They only whispered. "She's not ordinary," they'd mutter behind closed doors. "Her hands are too cold. Her eyes, they don't blink like ours." Some claimed she was blessed. Others said she had a secret altar deep in the forest. But Mama Nwaka never flinched under suspicion. She smiled as if she knew no one would ever prove anything. Because sometimes the scariest people aren't those who hide in shadows, but those who walk in the open, smiling too much, aging too little. The day Chika brought Ifunanya home as his bride, the village rejoiced. There was music, dancing, palm wine overflowing in calabashes. Women ululated, men raised toasts. The air smelled of jollof rice and roasted goat meat. And at the center of it all was Mama Nwaka, dressed in a deep red lace, her gold earrings glittering like fire. She hugged Ifunanya tightly, too tightly. "You are mine now," she whispered into her ear, a smile stretched across her face. "Give me grandchildren quickly. I want to hear small feet in this house." Ifunanya smiled politely, even laughed. But something in her belly twisted. The embrace didn't feel warm. It felt like possession. And when she looked up, she noticed something no one else seemed to see. Mama Nwaka's eyes weren't celebrating. They were studying, measuring, like a hunter sizing up a goat before the slaughter. That night, as the celebration died down and the guests went home, Ifunanya sat by the window, watching moonlight fall on the compound. And she said something she didn't understand at the time, but would never forget. "I don't think she hugged me. I think she marked me." The first pregnancy came like a miracle. A boy, strong heartbeat, full of kicks, healthy scans. Everyone rejoiced, especially Mama Nwaka. She lit candles every night, sang lullabies to Ifunanya's wahab belly, bought baby clothes before the second trimester. "Ah, this one would change everything," she'd say, her eyes shining too brightly. When he was born, the air changed, literally. Birds gathered on the compound roof. The air turned cold, even under the hot Nigerian sun. Still, the child was perfect, loud, beautiful, glowing like dawn. But Mama Nwaka, she held him too long, refused to let the maid touch him, took him into her room for hours at a time. Ifunanya didn't question it, not then. But on the 21st day, the morning they planned to take him to church, she walked into his crib and met silence. His tiny chest wasn't moving, his lips pale, his eyes open and empty. She screamed so loud the neighbors rushed in. But Mama Nwaka stood quietly in the corner, holding a white cloth, wiping her hands. No sadness, no shock, just silence. When the crowd had cleared, she came to Ifunanya, bent close, and whispered, "Try again." "These things happen." Then she walked away, as if death had no weight, and just like that, the miracle was gone. The second child came a year later, Oga. This time, Ifunanya swore to do things differently. No naming ceremony, no neighbors, no visitors. She kept her baby close, prayed over her, fasted until her knees shook, anointed every window, every door, slept beside the crib, hand resting on her daughter's chest. She even told Mama Nwaka kindly but firmly, "Let me handle this one. I just need to bond with her more." Mama smiled, in the kind of smile that doesn't touch the eyes. "Of course," she said, "you're the mother." But the air in the house felt different after that. Cooler, heavier. At night, Ifunanya heard faint whispers in languages she didn't recognize. Still, she fought. But on the 21st day, she blinked, just blinked. And when she opened her eyes, the baby was silent, gone. That night, she heard chewing. She crept through the corridor, feet bare, breath shaking. There, in the living room, candlelight danced on the walls, and in the center, Mama Nwaka sat cross-legged, head bowed, face glowing red. Something raw hung from her fingers, too small to be animal meat. Ifunanya stepped closer. The shape, the size, the smell. Her baby. Her knees buckled. Mama Nwaka looked up slowly, lips glistening. "Go back to bed, daughter," she said calmly, wiping her mouth. "It's not your turn yet." The next morning, Ifunanya didn't sleep. Couldn't. She sat in a corner, eyes wide, trembling. She had to tell someone. She had to tell him. When Chika came home, she ran to him like a drowning woman. "There's something wrong," she cried. "Something is wrong with your mother. She was in the living room last night. She was eating something." "Stop," Chika said. "Do you even hear yourself? You must be mad. That's my mother. What kind of woman says this?" He waved her off. "People warned me about you. Now I see." And just like that, Ifunanya was silenced. But Mama Nwaka didn't stop. She didn't even pretend to mourn. The third child came, then the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. Each one died on the 21st day, and each time Chika grew colder. Until one night, the crying began. He heard them in his dreams. Children weeping louder, screaming, tiny hands pulling at his feet, baby voices whispering, "Why didn't you save us, Papa?" He woke in sweat, but said nothing. Not yet. Now Ifunanya is 7 months pregnant again. But this time, something is different. She doesn't eat Mama's food, locks her door, sleeps with a Bible, hides baby things beneath the altar of the church. She prays in silence, fights in secret, because this child must not die. And Mama Nwaka still smiles every morning, still calls her daughter, still watches her belly like it's a bowl of stew. This child is not just a baby, it is war. Then one afternoon behind the house, she sees it. Fresh soil, too loose. She digs and finds them. 6 tiny bundles, 6 faded cloths, bones, hair babies, not buried, hidden. She screams and runs straight to the church, to the priest, falls at his feet. "Please, help me. I can't lose this one. I won't." The priest was waiting. He walked to the house, marked the door with oil, stopped outside Mama Nwaka's room. "This is not a home. This is a feeding ground." He told her everything, the ancient pacts, the blood rituals. The hunger passed through bloodlines. Mama Nwaka was starving. Chika began to unravel. The dreams grew clearer. He saw their faces, his children. One had his dimple, another his laugh. They whispered, "Why did you give us to her?" He dropped to his knees in front of Mama Nwaka. "I should have listened," he sobbed. "I gave her your blood." She sipped her soup, smiling. Ifunanya was moved that night to sacred ground, covered in prayer, protected by fasting women. Mama Nwaka came once, stood outside the gate. "If I do not eat, I will die," then vanished. The baby came during a storm, lightning, thunder, rain like judgment, and then a cry. A boy, alive, whole. At that same moment, Mama Nwaka collapsed. She dragged herself toward the church. "Let me touch him. I gave him life." just a taste. The gates did not open, and Ifunanya stood holding her child and said, "You fed on my children, now feed on your curse." Mama screamed and burst into flame from the inside out, and when it ended, only ash remained. Now people still whisper. They ask Ifunanya how she survived, how she carried the seventh child, how she walks with strength after 6 graves. She tells them, "I stopped being afraid and I started fighting." Because sometimes the devil doesn't wear horns, sometimes she calls you daughter, sometimes the devil lives inside your household.
Thank you for watching my video. Please like, turn on the notifications bell, subscribe and follow for more.